Hello, hello. I'm Zachary Hines, and this is what you missed at the Straz. Hello. This is Zachary Hines, and I am here virtually with LeeAnn Day Douglas. Pew, pew, pew.
Good morning. I've always wanted someone to announce me that way, so thanks a lot.
It's day 57 of quarantine, and I have officially lost my mind.
You have lost your mind. Yes. Yes. I don't think it's 57 though. I think it's like day 18 or something.
Yes, I've lost all track of time. Yesterday in a meeting, I was like, it is Monday? Every day is like a question mark. You're like, I'm pretty sure it's Monday, but I don't know. It looks a lot like Tuesday too.
Yeah, I don't know how people who work from home, like this is always their gig, how they do that.
I mean, I feel like I actually thought that the time was going to go by a lot slower, but I feel like, I mean, I have like no time at all. I'm just like moving, moving, moving. I feel like on the other side of this, more people are going to be working from home because I'm usually very productive, but I feel like I'm even more productive. And it's just been because I have nothing else to do but work. So
That's true. Yeah.
that's
I've
all I'm doing.
been working a lot. Yeah. So
I've been working. I've been working.
So we promised everyone that we were going to watch Miss Saigon.
Right, because we are now in our quarantine cast version of What You Missed. We are
Mhm.
watching Broadway shows, movie musicals, any kind of theater related content that you can stream. So Miss Saigon was supposed to be at the Straz Center last week. So to make up for it, we decided we were going to watch it on Broadway HD. It was like the 20th or 5th, the 25th anniversary gala performance.
Mhm.
And it was something.
It was. So I did a little bit of research after I watched it instead of beforehand. And so I'm sitting there watching Miss Saigon and I'm thinking, wow, this is a lot like Les Mis. And I was like, I mean, it was grand. So the sets were big, the songs were big. It was just really a grand, I mean, everything you love about a big Broadway show, it had. And I was like, I wonder if it was produced by the same guy. And it was. It was produced by Cameron McIntosh, who
Mm-hmm.
also did Les Mis. He did some other shows too. But I was like, okay, so that makes sense. And also the music and the lyrics were by the same team too.
Right. It's the same, like, we're going to write a podcast, but we don't have a podcast topic. And I don't know what to talk about. So I'm just going to sing. And I'm going to be very intense. But now I'm in Vietnam instead of France.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
Yeah, there were
So
moments where it's like, this is Les Mis.
it was pretty cool though. I liked it.
From a viewpoint of it being a spectacle,
Mm-hmm.
oh my, I mean, they just had like an embarrassment of riches of ensemble members. I was
Oh
like, how
yeah.
many people are in that cast? It looked like they had 50 people just like
Yeah. It was a big
chilling about on
cast.
stage.
Mm-hmm.
I love an epic musical, and I actually really do like Miss Saigon. It's by the same writers as Les Mis, the same producer. It was like watching a moment in musical theater history.
It's funny because I knew it was based on the opera Madame Butterfly, and I had never seen it before. So this was my first time seeing Miss Saigon. Um,
What?
yeah, it was my first time. So I knew it was based on Butterfly. And if you're not an opera person or if the people listening aren't opera people, I'm not a big opera fan. I've seen a few operas, not a lot of operas, but that is by far my favorite opera. If you're going to see an opera and that's the only opera you're going to see, you need to see Madame Butterfly. And you'll have to excuse the sound right now. My cat is sharpening his claws on the recliner that I'm sitting in. So
Sunny.
that's a work from home issue right there. So yeah, Madame Butterfly is just amazing. So the storyline was familiar to me, and anybody who hasn't seen Miss Saigon, or hasn't seen Madame Butterfly, it's basically young Asian woman falls in love with American GI. He goes back home, leaves her behind. She has his son. Spoiler alert, he comes to find her and his son. He's going to leave them both behind, but she knows if she's not in the picture, he'll take him. So she shoots herself with his gun and he takes the son, and just fantastic death scene at the end, just like Madame Butterfly. So,
Mhm.
so yeah. But there's this character called the engineer who is basically a pimp, and his entire like reason for being is to go to America.
I was like, he is the master of the house because they both were kind of these like con men that were finding ways to basically survive. And they were kind of like cockroaches. No matter
Hmm.
what happened in the story, they were going to find some way to survive and be like a parasite. But I thought it was interesting how the point they made with this is that he really was primed for America because the whole American dream is pretty much everything he represented, like the excess and the indulgences.
Right.
um so it was really interesting how they kind of were having a very cynical perspective on what the American dream is.
He was a funny character. I really enjoyed him a lot. Um,
He looked so familiar, and then I IMDb'd him. He's been on like American Horror Story a bunch of times, so he's been around. He actually is a pretty well known actor, but he was amazing. He was my favorite part.
Yeah, he was really, really good. And the actress that played Kim, I didn't look her up, but she had a beautiful voice. Really, really pretty voice. Lots of soaring melodies. She just had a lot of really good belting songs. So yeah, I really enjoyed her performance.
I have to say, they did an amazing job filming the show. It was beautifully shot, I thought.
Mhm.
But it is such an extra over the top, because it's an opera. Or
Yeah.
this would be an operetta. Like, I was like, wouldn't it be funny if there was like just one person to pop up and sing a song about how their life is like, all right? Like, everything is extreme and usually extreme tragedy. They're pining over each other, and then their lovers torn apart. Even though she was promised to marry this general, she's not going to marry him because she is holding out for her American hero. And just everything is so loud and extra. It's different watching it as a movie than watching it in the live theater.
Well, yeah, of course. I mean, I would never use Broadway HD to supplant my live theater going experience.
Oh no.
It's just so different in the theater. Okay, number 1, it's different in the theater because my husband walks into the room and says, "You need to put your phone down." And so I was like, "You're right," because in the theater I would put my phone down, but since I'm in my living room, I kind of, threw all of my theatrical manners aside and was multitasking. So
The Hall of Shame, the Hall of
I
Virtual Shame right
know.
there.
I would have been in the Hall of Shame. I just love being in the theater. I love being able to just focus on what's going on stage and just block everything else out. And you can't do that in your living room. You can't. You're like, "Oh, wait, let me pause this and get up and go grab a snack, or let me pause this and answer the phone, or let me pause this and do that." So it's a totally different experience than when you're there. So when you're in a big theater with a big show and big sets with big songs, it's just it's overwhelming, which and it's supposed to be. That said, I was totally forgot about the helicopter. So everybody talked about Miss Saigon and the helicopter landing on stage. And
Mhm.
so I had thought about it a couple days ago and I was like, "Oh, I can't wait to see how they do that." And we were watching it and I had forgotten all about it. And then here comes the scene where they're basically the GIs are getting out of Vietnam, and all of the Vietnamese who want to go with them and want to be saved, and they're exiles basically. And and this helicopter flies in and takes them away. And I was like, okay, even sitting in my living room, that was impressive.
It was very impressive how they combined projection with the actual set piece was really still jaw-dropping. What do you think of the love story? Because I wish that they spent a little more time establishing their love.
Okay, they fell in love in like 30 seconds.
I know.
So I was kind of like, wow, that was fast. And, I get the whole love at first sight thing. But yeah, exactly. I wish they had spent a little time showing the growth of the relationship and it wasn't just a bam, I met you tonight and now we're married, half an hour later.
I was joking that this was like the original story of being ghosted. See, ladies and gentlemen, these are the consequences for ghosting someone.
Oh my goodness. So yeah, and I mean he didn't really. I mean, at least they had the flashback scene, so they showed you what happened. I mean, he didn't just ditch her. She was at the gates. They were on opposite sides of the gate. He was being to be thrown into the helicopter while he's trying to get to her and she's trying to get to him and they just can't. But, I don't know, man.
And he only waited 2 year or 1 year
Before getting
before
married.
getting married.
Yeah,
Because it was 3 years later and he was married for 2 years
right.
when Ellen came into the picture.
I kind of felt bad for her. 'Cause she was just stuck in the middle. It's not like it was her fault, you
Yeah,
know?
Ellen was sold a bag of false goods. Because first of all, he was like, "This is just someone I slept with," and then she goes all the way to Vietnam, and then she's just minding her own business in her hotel room, thinks this is like a housekeeper coming in, and no, it's actually she learns more, like that they actually were in love, and and has a child. Oh my god, this is really a story about Ellen.
Poor Ellen. Ellen is his wife, if we didn't say
Yeah.
that. That's his wife. Yeah. So, and she, I mean, this was set in the '70s, right?
Yeah.
So, that was a big deal back then. These days, that doesn't really I mean, people are just like, "Oh, okay, that's you got a kid." So, it's a whole different thing than it was in '75.
Yeah, poor Ellen, poor Kim. Ellen had to know something was up that he like kept waking up screaming another lady's name though for
Well, yeah, I mean, she wasn't oblivious. So, I guess it's because it's really an opera. And at the end when she shoots herself with the gun, there's just this death scene and then it's over. And I'm used to in a big Broadway musical having a big musical number at the end. And there just
Right.
wasn't one. So I was kinda like, "Oh." I wanted a big closing number, but how can you, right, when she dies at the end?
You wanted
So,
a tap number?
I always want a tap number. I was hopeful during the American Dream number that they were gonna bring out some tap dancers, but they didn't.
I
So,
thought so too. I was like, is LeeAnn gonna get her tap dance? But
yeah,
it came
no,
very
it was
close.
too serious and gritty for tap.
Yeah, but I mean, even because I was thinking Les Mis even kind of wraps it up and ends on a positive note.
Yeah, yeah, they do.
So this one they were just like, no, no.
Yeah, nope, not at all.
But I guess I mean, the son gets the somewhat happy ending because she is like, all I want is for my son to have a chance, and so he'll have a better chance in America.
If I'm not around. Yeah.
Well, right, because Ellen was like, "No way, you're coming home with us because you love him, and I'm not going to have you like."
Hanging around.
Yeah,
Yeah, you will bring the kid, but not if you're gonna be around. So she was like, "Okay."
I don't know. I know. What would you do? I feel like part of me was like, "Come on, Ellen, come on, have a
Yeah,
heart."
I know, I know.
But that's a lot. I don't know. I don't know what I would have done. Definitely would have taken the kid.
It was it was pretty heavy.
Yeah, some heavy choices.
So you're gonna have to rate it.
Oh, okay. Yes. So,
How about one awesome helicopter?
okay, I'll give it that. I'll give it one awesome helicopter.
Okay. Out of 1.
1 out of 1. No, it was good. I did like Miss Saigon. Like it's an enjoyable experience. I can't really say that like it has the bops that Les Mis has. It has a few of the like Why God, like that was recognizable. The Why God and the movie in my mind is a beautiful song. I love that song.
Mhm, mhm. I like that one too.
As a package, I really do enjoy it. It's its own kind of experience, you know? And they don't really make musicals like this anymore.
No, they don't, and that's what I was gonna say. I mean, I think when we talk about the big sets and the big numbers, and we have gotten so I think because probably for economical reasons, sets have gotten smaller, especially for touring Broadway, because you've gotta pack these things up and take them from town to town to town.
But I think it's also our storytelling has gotten more intimate.
It's gotten quicker paced. So, for example, I'll like put on a movie on Netflix from the 80s, and it might be a movie that was my very favorite movie at the time. And I'll start watching it now and be like, I can't watch this. This moves too slowly. I need some big action to happen in the first 10 minutes or I'm gone.
Right.
So I think the storytelling has changed since Miss Saigon first was introduced in the theater, and so you kind of have to. That's one of the reasons I think they do revivals. And I don't know, I'm making this up, but when they go back and tool these shows and kind of update them for the times because people's attention spans have changed and the economics of taking a big show around have changed, and so I'm really glad we got to see it because was this its original form?
What do you
Do
mean?
you know? Did they retool it this 25th anniversary version, or was this the original staging?
I think this was a new staging.
So this was a new staging, so it may
Yeah.
have even been bigger.
I think this was bigger than the original. From because I saw it on Broadway as a kid, so I don't remember. I think just like the technology just is so much more advanced now.
Right.
So I think it was a big spectacle, and obviously the helicopter was a big thing, but nowhere near as visually stunning, I think, as this production was. And maybe
Yeah.
it still was cheaper because just technology is more accessible now, but it definitely was from a production standpoint really awe-inspiring. But I mean, you think about like the last big spectacle I can think of is Wicked.
Hmm.
Because pretty much every new show after that has been, like Hamilton is a huge blockbuster, but it's not a spectacle.
Correct. It's only got one set.
Right. It's very like simplistic. Yeah, I can't really think of any like kind of I feel like Wicked would be the most recent, or maybe it was the end of kind of that era. Because even when Miss Saigon was coming out, that was, Andrew Lloyd Webber was in his heyday, Fan of the Opera, all his big everything that he did was big and spectacular. Cameron McIntosh
Hmm.
produced those musicals too. I'm sure from an economic standpoint, like you said, from just what people are interested in, like, even looking at a musical like Fun Home wouldn't have existed in the era of Miss
Right.
Saigon, very
Right.
small, intimate kind of storytelling for musical theater.
Hmm. Yeah. So what are we going to watch next time?
So next time, I think it could be fun if we watched Sweeney Todd,
Okay.
the Angela Lansbury version, or
Okay.
uh we could do a double feature. We could watch the Tim Burton movie adaptation and the stage version.
Okay.
Attend the tale of Sweeney Todd.
I've never seen it.
What?
Nope, I've never seen it.
OMG. Okay, then this is definitely happening.
All right, cool.
Sweeney Todd is one of my top 5 musicals.
All right, so we'll watch those, and then everybody out there who's listening, if you get a chance, turn on Broadway HD, go see Miss Saigon. It's definitely worth your time.
Oh yeah, definitely. And we'll see you next time.
All right, take care.
I'm Zachary Hines, and this is what you missed at the Straz.